What's up guys, this is Void of Dust Gaming, your channel for fresh Arena of Valor content, and as I know that a lot of my viewers like Allain a lot, I've got some fresh Allain gameplay for you. It's not the brightest game that I've ever played because lately I wasn't too focused on the game. Most of the times I was playing when people are around in my living room and I was talking to them, but in this kind of case I think I was all by myself, but it doesn't really matter because it's not some crazy stomp video where I've been killing a lot of people, but I just wanted to show you how good or bad Allain is at the moment. And that said, I would say it's time to go through his equipment and armory wise at first. So guys, this is my current build. I've got, of course, some health reduction in here with the Soul Detainer. Name has been changed, but the rest of it is plain simple. The build that all the Allain players have been playing since Allain has been released. So we've got the Beast in there, we've got Clef Sancti here for some additional support. We've got the lovely Frost Cape here. And yes, that's about that. Armory wise, I went with my staple build, Marksman Warrior. I know that I could go for crit because I used the item, but I was rather going for sustained damage, and that is attack damage 45, physical armor penetration 100, and movement speed plus 10%. And you can get the same amount of increasements by just taking 10 times Berserker, 10 times Assassin, and 10 times Dragoon, and I think this is basically one of the best builds if you want to play as many positions as possible, because you can play this build on an AD carry and on any other warrior as well, and you're not going to get any harm from that. Enchantment wise, as Allain is a really good 1v1 player, a great duelist, I've been going with Shadowblade, Ghostly Claw, and the Burning Grudge. So hitting enemy heroes with a normal attack or skill is increasing our movement speed, and we are going to get a little bit more damage on top of this. And in the second bracket I'm going with Restore Plus and the Gunslinger to boost our damage and stats even further. So this is the build. Right now is some gameplay, really short I suppose, and yeah, be prepared for that. If you're not yet subscribing to that channel, consider on doing so, because I need to grow to 5,000 subscribers, and put on the notification bell, because then you're not going to miss any of my content whatsoever in the future. If you like this kind of content, of course a like is highly appreciated, and if you've got any tips and advices for all the other viewers out there, feel free to put your thoughts down in the comment section below. So without further ado, let's get started and check out the gameplay. Alright, so I was playing with some of my mates in this particular gameplay. We had a 3-people queue piling up with Quillen. We've got Yue in there, and we were playing with a Kha'Zix and Slims combo, and those were my teammates. And yeah, we were fighting against a Crixie in the mid lane. There is Maganga against us. Not the best matchup that I would wish for if I would have the choice, because Maganga is able to just get a lot of damage out there with his venomous stacks. We've got a Kali as well, so the matchup from the enemies was actually kind of confusing. A lot of double choices here, but it doesn't really matter because the game is decided when the first core is going to fall, and if this is something that will just be appreciated by the gods of the battlefield, they would do anything in their favor. And yeah, I would say good job here at first, because I really put some pressure on that Maganga. I just wanted to make him feel that I would be able to counter back if he's just going to approach me any further. And Quillen has the very right arc and just went straight for the kill, and we are going to have a better understanding on how this Quillen works in the future of this gameplay, because this Quillen was actually really, really good. And because of my teammates that have just been boosting the overall elo on this game, I would say we were pretty lucky because our Quillen was actually really capable, and that's something that you don't see on a regular basis, especially if your jungler is the random. But this jungler was really, really good, so I was using all of my abilities to the very extent, trying to put as much damage on Maganga before he is able to put all of his harm towards me. As you can see, 5 stacks are building up so easily on him. But again, Quillen is so mobile, and his roaming is just really up to the point. I've never seen a Quillen in the last months that has been able to get the kills if I was just kind of setting them up, and this Quillen was just incredible on terms of the map awareness, and I couldn't wish for anything else. Like, that was exceptional. And Quillen, if you are going to see that, your game, it was just crazy. That was so good on what we were doing in this game. Now I'm trying to farm it up. Unfortunately, I've got enough stacks that I'm going to be killed here. That's the problem if you're fighting against Maganga. Maganga is just the stacking queen. He is just by far the best stacking person, and you always need to be quite careful on what you're about to do, because the stacks are going to kill you if you're not prepared for that. But just check that. 6 kills on Quillen. That's insane after 3 minutes or 4 minutes played. So this guy knows what he's doing, and he basically carried the whole game. If you've seen the enemies already, we've got Hayate on the opposing build as well. So I would say they've got pretty strong choices all in all, but the good thing is not as a team composition, because they are lacking a tank. They don't really have any measures to fight us, and Quillen is just doing what Quillen does. He's immortal right now. He's just been so crazy all over the place, and I would say it takes a lot of practice and a lot of game understanding on really feeling on where you can get a kill, how your team members are going to play, and if you can actually be of some beneficial purposes, or if it's just about being there and not doing anything at all. And I think this Quillen had a really good feeling about all of this when we are focusing on the game plan. Like, we've got Zill here as a jungler on the opposing team. I mean, Allain is still a strong choice, so we don't really have to fear that much. Trying to build up my stacks here, using all of my stuff in order to get the red buff, because as I saw that my team was about to engage the enemy on all forces, especially the mid and the bottom lane, I just thought it might be really useful to get most of the enemy jungle here in order to just put some pressure on the enemy jungler, because I mean, Zill is a really good jungler, and therefore I just wanted to make his life as complicated as possible, and I decided to go for Maganga first before I was able to secure that tower. Maybe that wasn't the right choice, but now it's time to get our minions into that enemy tower. I'm building that item here. Just forgot about the name. It's so new to the game that I don't really have all the new terms up my mind. But as you can see, another double kill for Quillen, and as you can see, 16 versus 13 with another triple kill. It's just, I think the game has been decided a long time ago. Try my best to be some kind of annoying, but now I need to fall back, because the problem with Maganga is that he's able to whittle me down just with his spells and all his abilities, and I can't do anything against it because the stacks are building up so quickly, and now it's kind of time to get out here. I could have used Flicker with my movement buff here to get him, and that's exactly what I'm about to do. We do get the kill and the tower, so I think that has been worth using. My teammates are trying to get up to Kali, and I try to follow up as well, but unfortunately it was just not good enough. My health was just a little bit too low, and now I'm stranded on A2-2. But look at that Quill. He's just playing this game by himself. And here we go. Another dead person. Slims is farming up quite nicely, which is actually quite good, because if you've got some kills on Slims, it's going to help you out in the late game. Of course, he's not really that strong at the beginning of the game, as most of the marksmen are, but you want to fuel your marksman throughout the game, because it just makes your life through mid and late game so much easier. And now we're about to farm some of the stuff that has been offered to us, getting some jungle stuff here, and now we've got the soul detainer, and we now can focus on the devil's handshake to get some attack speed as well as some critical increase, and this is going to be actually quite nice in the whole process of building the perfect build. Now Carnegie she's really low, so I decided to go in and put my ultimate on top of them. Here we go, there's another kill, but unfortunately I'm killed as a remark, and therefore we now need to be a little more on the defensive side, because some parts of our team have already been killed, but Quillen with 17-1 is just carrying the game by himself. And what's really important about that right now is that you need to carry all that stuff that Quillen has already been setting up home, because the worst mistake that he can do now is to fall back into some kind of chilling position, like, well, we've got the game basically carried in our hands, because that's going to kind of get the enemy team back into the game. So the most important thing is now to get the objectives, clear Abyssal Dragon, clear Darkslayer, and if you can manage to continue to put pressure on the enemy lanes, that is going to win you the game, because I've seen a lot of games where we were actually in this kind of leading position. I mean, 28 versus 10 is actually quite huge, but sometimes it's a little bit closer and people are starting to freak out, being super sure of themselves, and that just leads to crazy situations where you can't actually carry the game because you are not focusing on the right things. Now is the time where you're not focusing on getting kills, but you're focusing on winning the game, because you destroy towers and you get objectives. That's the most important and I think the most crucial thing right now, and you need to completely focus on this. Now we need to push the lane, so I'm roaming up to the top lane again to get all these lovely cannon minions that are giving me a lot of gold, which just puts me to the test, and now I can build the beast, which is just basically granting us full health after, I think, a full combo cycle, and this is going to be huge for our build. This has given us the much needed sustain. Look at that. Unfortunately, I was just jumping to the wrong direction, because otherwise it would have been a 4-3, but it doesn't really matter because we are playing as a team, and therefore every single death counts, especially on the enemies. Going in here, need to go out. Just one kill counter is not enough to stop us. And I think that was just way too overextended here. I could have just pulled back, and now it's 4-4. Otherwise it would have been 5-3, but it doesn't really matter. It's just about winning the game, and stats are just there for showing off and telling people that you have been crazy. But I think the MVP is completely clear. There's no doubt about who is going to get the MVP in this game. Even that is counted by him, and he still had Blade of Eternity up on him. So this Quillen is just getting the game for us. 11,000 gold versus 6.2 on the opposing team. So we have been crazy about the gold. Of course, all those kills are fueling Quillen one by one, but this is just insane. It's nearly double the gold. So of course this Quillen is able to fight all the fights by himself. Now Yu has been killed. We are just running around like a headless chicken right now because we want to get Kali, kill her, and of course, I was a little bit too late. My two guys from the dual lane just managed to do so, and now it's basically closing in time. Like, there's not really much that the enemies can do against us. Quillen is just fighting the game of his life. I don't know if that is his normal performance, but the performance has been outstanding. Another kill for our team. I'm offering myself here because I want to drag the damage away from our Slims. He is one of the main damage dealers right now. I mean, yeah, Quillen is as well, but Quillen wasn't there. So I tried to get as much damage away from our Slims as possible. And as I knew that Zil is basically dividing all of his attacks between the available targets, I was just jumping in order to get the damage away from the Slims. You should always do like this accordingly if you know that the enemy has a lot of targets, or not really that much targets. It's more about not that much targets. But sometimes it's just about sacrificing yourself, getting the triple kill for Quillen, and now we're finishing with a 47 versus 18 with a quadra kill, and I think it's just another game of these where you are just outperforming the enemy because you've got one really crazy hard carry, and I think Quillen did a phenomenal job on that, and I just wanted to bring this game to you because a lot of people in the chats on Discord and in the game are actually telling you can't play the game anymore, it's not really working, people are just being stupid, if you need to play with randoms all they do is shit. Look at that Quillen, 31 kills, 14.6 overall performance, and there's not much to say about this. It was just crazily good. And Quillen, if you have seen that on my channel, thanks for playing with you. It was a pleasure. So, thanks for watching my video, guys. I hope you guys enjoy AoV still at that time. And if you want more videos to appear, be a subscriber. Thanks.